November 12, 1572. Dawn does not rise gently over the stone ramparts of the Tower of London. It bleeds upward, slow, red, and silent, like the sky itself has witnessed too much. The air is iron cold. Damp straw sticks to the soles of boots. Somewhere below the vaulted chamber, chains drag across stone with a sound like teeth grinding in sleep. You are standing there. You can smell it. Rust. Sweat. Fear. A man kneels at the center of the room, wrists bound behind him, knuckles white, lips moving without sound. 34 years old. A scholar. A husband. A believer in ideas someone powerful decided must never be spoken again. His name is recorded only once in a surviving ledger, ink faded, the clerk's handwriting hurried as if even the act of writing it was dangerous. If you've ever wondered what history tried to erase, subscribe now. Every view revives voices silenced for centuries. The guards do not look at his face. They look at the device. It waits beside him. Wood darkened by years of use. Iron hinges polished not by care, but by suffering. A mechanism designed with patience, improved across generations, engineered not merely to hurt, but to instruct, to send a message louder than any sermon, decree, or law. Punishment in this century is not justice. It is theater. Outside, bells toll. Inside, breath fogs the air. The prisoner hears footsteps circling him. Slow. Measured. Deliberate. He knows what each sound means. 1 step closer. 1 second less. 1 chance slipping into nothing. What would you do if every vow you held sacred could be torn from you, 1 ligament at a time? Records from royal inventories describe these instruments with chilling neutrality, 1 rack of oak, 2 tightening wheels, 3 restraints newly fitted. No outrage. No protest. Just accounting. Pain reduced to property. Agony catalogued like furniture. The official overseeing the chamber opens a parchment and reads the sentence in a voice so calm it almost sounds bored. The words drift like ash, treason, defiance, correction. The prisoner closes his eyes, not in surrender, in preparation, because he knows something the officials do not. And in a few moments, they will learn it too. The parchment crackles as it is rolled shut, and for a moment the chamber falls into a silence so complete it feels manufactured, as if even sound fears punishment here. Then comes the signal. A knock, barely perceptible. But everyone understands. 2 attendants step forward. They are not soldiers. Soldiers fight enemies. These men maintain order. Their aprons are stiff with old stains, their sleeves rolled with ritual precision. One smells faintly of vinegar and herbs, the scent physicians use when they wish to pretend what they are doing is medicine. The other carries a small wooden box filled with iron pins, wedges, and screws arranged neatly in rows like surgical tools. Instruments of correction. Instruments of persuasion. You are about to witness something historians rarely describe in full. The prisoner is lifted, not gently, not cruelly, but efficiently, and placed onto the frame. His spine touches the wood, the chill travels instantly through bone. Leather straps tighten across his chest, wrists, and ankles. Each buckle closes with a soft, almost polite click. Why polite? Because terror does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers. In state archives from the late 16th century, interrogators recorded their philosophy in marginal notes beside official confessions. Pain clarifies truth. Silence indicates guilt. Resistance proves necessity. These annotations were never meant for public eyes. They were instructions for successors, like recipes passed between cooks. The official clears his throat. You may speak before correction begins. The prisoner opens his eyes. They are not wild, not broken, not pleading, steady. That unsettles them. Outside, wind presses against the stone slits of the wall, producing a low moan that slips into the chamber like a warning from the future. One guard shifts his stance, another avoids looking at the prisoner's face. Something about calm terrifies people who expect screams. Because calm suggests belief. and belief cannot be beaten as easily as flesh. The executioner grips the first wheel of the device. His hands are thick, scarred, practiced. He has done this dozens of times, perhaps hundreds. Records of payments show bonuses issued for particularly productive examinations, efficiency rewarded, compliance incentivized, pain monetized. He begins to turn. Slowly, leather tightens, wood creaks. Tendons stretch like ropes pulled across a ship's mast. The prisoner inhales sharply, but does not cry out. Not yet. The official watches closely, quill poised above parchment, waiting for the first confession, waiting for the first betrayal, waiting for proof that suffering works. Notice how history tried to erase these moments. You are seeing them now as witnesses once did, breath held, hearts pounding, wondering how long a human will endure before truth dissolves into survival. Another turn. A sound escapes the prisoner's throat. Not a scream, a restrained animal vibration. His jaw trembles. Sweat beads along his brow despite the cold. Inside his mind, words begin to form, not spoken, not heard, but repeated like a shield. Hold, hold, hold. Why? Because he understands something his tormentors do not. Pain is temporary, but surrender can echo forever. The wheel turns again, and this time something shifts. Something shifts, not in the machine, in the room. It begins as a faint vibration under the wooden frame, so subtle the attendants think it is merely the prisoner trembling. But the executioner pauses. His hands, hardened by years of sanctioned cruelty, sense changes others miss. He has learned to read bodies the way scholars read manuscripts. And this body is telling a story that does not match the script. The prisoner's breathing slows, not the frantic gasps of a man breaking, but the measured rhythm of someone descending inward. His lips move again. Still no sound, just the ghost of syllables forming against pain. Prayer? Memory? A final conversation with himself? The official frowns. He has seen men beg for mothers, kings, saints, even enemies. He has seen them confess crimes they never committed just to stop the tightening. But silence paired with composure, that is rare, dangerous even, because punishment is meant to demonstrate power. And power only exists if it is witnessed. What if defiance refuses to perform? Another turn of the wheel. The joints strain further. Ligaments stretch like cords drawn on a warbow. A low crack echoes, not bone, not yet, but close enough that one of the younger guards swallows hard. He was told this duty would be honorable, necessary, cleansing. Yet nothing in his training mentioned the smell now thickening the air, hot iron, damp wool, and the sharp mineral scent of fear released through skin. Archival payment rolls from interrogation chambers across early modern Europe list wine allowances for staff after sessions. Not before. After. As if even those who inflicted agony required something to rinse the memory from their throats. The prisoner's eyes open again. They fix. Not on the executioner. On the ceiling. Stone blocks. Mortar lines. A small crack shaped like a branching river. He studies it with astonishing focus, as though mapping an escape route invisible to everyone else. Inside his mind, another sentence forms, "You are more than this moment." He repeats it, again, again, a rhythm stronger than the machine's pull. Pain claws through his limbs, fire floods his nerves. But something strange happens when suffering exceeds expectation. It stops feeling infinite and becomes precise. Each sensation isolates. Each pulse sharpens. He can count them, measure them, endure them. The official's quill hesitates. Why is he not begging? Another turn. This time the sound is unmistakable. A pop. Wet. Final. One shoulder dislocates. The younger guard flinches. The attendant with the vinegar cloth looks away. The executioner leans closer, studying the prisoner's face with professional curiosity. This is the moment most men shatter. The moment resolve liquefies. The moment secrets spill. But the prisoner does something no one anticipates. He smiles. Not wide, not mad, just a faint curve of lips, fragile as candlelight yet unmistakably real. The official feels something crawl along his spine.
Tell them I sent you.
Because that expression does not belong in this room. It does not belong on that device. It does not belong in the presence of iron and command and sanctioned ruin. What kind of mind finds calm inside torment? Private correspondence from certain tribunals mentions cases like this only briefly, always with unease. They called such prisoners stone souls, individuals whose convictions hardened under pressure rather than cracked. The records never explored them. They simply noted, subject persisted, as if endurance itself were an offense. The executioner tightens his grip on the wheel again, slower now, studying, testing. Because curiosity has replaced routine, he wants to see where this ends. The prisoner exhales through his nose and whispers something.
I can't remember the sun.
So faint, only the nearest attendant hears it. 3 words. The attendant's eyes widen. He steps back. Because whatever was just spoken was not a plea. The attendant's retreat is small, 1 step, no more, but in a chamber engineered for dominance, even a single backward motion is an earthquake. The official notices. His gaze sharpens. What did he say? He demands, voice low, controlled, dangerous. The attendant hesitates. That is mistake number 1. Because hesitation implies uncertainty. And uncertainty is the one contagion authority fears most. I could not be certain, the attendant replies, though the tremor in his voice betrays him. He was certain. He heard the words clearly. They have lodged behind his ribs like splinters. The official's eyes narrow. Then we will continue until certainty is achieved. The executioner nods once. His hands return to the wheel. But now something has changed. Not in the prisoner, in the witnesses. Moments ago, this was routine. Procedure. A task recorded in ledgers and sealed with wax. Now the air feels charged as if unseen static crawls across skin. Even the torches seem to burn differently, their flames bending sideways as drafts slip through cracks in the stone. Outside, wind rattles iron grates with a hollow clang, 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 like a distant clock counting down. Another turn. The prisoner's body jerks involuntarily, tendons straining to their limit. A strangled sound escapes his throat, half gasp, half broken breath. Pain has not lessened. It has multiplied, burrowing into every nerve. Yet his eyes remain clear, awake, watching something no one else can see. Inside his mind, memory replaces sensation. A field, summer, wheat bending under warm wind, a voice calling his name. Hands that once held his. He clings to these fragments the way drowning men clutch driftwood, not to escape pain, but to outlast it. Because pain lives in the present. Memory lives beyond reach. Interrogation journals from the period mention this phenomenon only once, scribbled in the margin beside a failed confession, subject withdrew inward. Methods ineffective. No elaboration. No analysis. Just a quiet admission that sometimes the body can be seized, but the mind cannot. The official steps closer, boots echoing softly. He studies the prisoner's face from inches away, searching for cracks, any fracture in composure, any flicker of surrender. Instead, he finds something worse. Serenity. A dangerous expression in a room built on fear. Speak, the official orders. The prisoner turns his head slightly. The movement is slow, strained, but deliberate. His lips part, blood beads where teeth have cut the inside of his cheek. When he speaks, the words scrape out like fragments of glass. You cannot reach me. The attendant inhales sharply. The younger guard grips his halberd tighter. The executioner's brow furrows, because that sentence is not defiance shouted in rage. It is a statement delivered in calm. And calm here is rebellion. Notice this moment carefully. History rarely preserves these seconds, the fragile turning points when power first senses it may not be absolute. You are seeing what official records tried to compress into a single dismissive line. The official straightens. His jaw tightens. Something cold replaces curiosity in his expression. Increase pressure, he says. Another turn. Muscle strains. Rope creaks. The prisoner's vision blurs. Blackness presses at the edges of sight. His heartbeat thunders in his ears like war drums. Every instinct screams for surrender, for one word, one name, one lie that would end it. Inside his skull, a battle erupts louder than any battlefield. Speak and live. Endure and vanish. Sweat drips from his chin onto the wood below. Each drop lands with a soft tap. 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 Time is dissolving. The executioner leans closer again, fascinated now, studying the prisoner the way natural philosophers study rare specimens. He has stretched bodies before. He knows the exact point when resolve collapses. He has seen the eyes change, seen the spirit retreat. But not this time, because instead of fading, the prisoner begins to whisper again. Not to them. To himself. And what he says next will alter everyone in that chamber, though none of them realize it yet. Comment where you are watching from, and share this story with someone who needs to see the truth hidden by empires. The whisper continues, and the executioner, against all training, listens. The executioner tilts his head, drawn closer despite himself. The whisper is fragile, frayed by pain, yet it carries with unsettling clarity, like a thread pulled through stone. Not a confession, not a plea, a recitation. The prisoner is repeating something learned long before this chamber existed. Each word emerges slowly, shaped with care, as if he is placing bricks into an invisible wall between himself and agony. The language is old, older than the court, older than the laws that condemned him. The syllables roll with quiet cadence, steady as a heartbeat refusing to panic. The attendant feels his throat tighten. Because he recognizes it. Not the exact text, but its nature. Conviction. The official's patience fractures. Stop him, the executioner does not move. That is the first act of disobedience. Not rebellion, not yet. Just stillness. His hands remain on the wheel, but they no longer turn. His eyes stay fixed on the prisoner's face, searching for the mechanism behind this impossible composure. He has broken nobles, soldiers, thieves, scholars. He has watched pride dissolve, courage rot, certainty crumble. But this is different. The whisper continues. Softer now. Breath fading, yet the rhythm persists, like distant drums heard through fog. The prisoner's body trembles violently, nerves firing in chaotic bursts. One arm hangs at an unnatural angle. Blood traces thin lines along the wood beneath him. Still, the faint smile returns. Not because the pain has ended. Because it has failed. The official steps forward sharply. Turn it. Silence. The executioner's fingers loosen from the handle. In later municipal expense records, buried between receipts for candle wax and roof repairs, there appears a brief, curious notation dated the following week. Instrument maintenance postponed. Operator reassigned. No explanation. No incident report. Just absence where procedure should be. Inside the chamber, the whisper stops. For a terrifying instant, no one breathes. The prisoner's head tilts slightly to one side. His chest rises once, twice, then stills. The younger guard thinks he has witnessed death, but the executioner sees something else. Peace. Not defeat, not escape. Peace earned in defiance of iron, decree, and fear. A stillness so completed unsettles the living more than any scream could. The official closes his ledger with a snap. Record non-compliance, he says coldly. Dispose accordingly. Yet his voice lacks its earlier certainty, because somewhere deep beneath authority, a question has begun to spread. What kind of power fails against a whisper? Years later, travelers would speak of a rumor passed quietly between scholars and prisoners alike of a man who endured the rack and gave nothing but silence and a final prayer. No name, no trial record, just a story. And stories, unlike bodies, cannot be broken. Archaeologists studying judicial archives have found scattered references to such cases, Brief lines, scratched notes, altered logs, official history tried to compress them into obscurity. But fragments remain. Ink traces. Marginalia. Physical proof that resistance existed even in rooms built to erase it. The voices you've just witnessed refuse to vanish. Subscribe, share, and keep their courage alive. Their story deserves to survive.